Yeah, AMP looks really good to me. So I'm sorry about whoever's watching on YouTube that I forgot to hit go live. That's, doesn't happen, but very often. But, I caught it pretty quickly. You made money in the last 2 AMP pumps? That's awesome. Yeah. Hello, Jasmine. Yeah. If you guys have requests, all I request is that you just hit the like, just to give me some love. I think my TikTok account is shadow banned, so it does help at least a little bit. So let me start on the weekly time frame for Jasmine and go from there. So I had this in a falling wedge. Well, I'm just going to clean the chart up a little bit. Give me a second. To me, it doesn't look like Jasmine's in a falling wedge anymore. I mean, this could be like a bull pennant on the higher time frames, and I kind of like what I'm seeing. Now, what you really can't afford to see on Jasmine is a low, or is the low taken out below 1.5 cents. The second you lose 1.5 cents, that's a wrap, and you're going to go to 1.2 cents pretty quickly on Jasmine. So you don't want to see that. That's the bear scenario. But the bull scenario is that you get a move to the upside here. You take it from the last local high to the last local low, and you get your measure move, and that would take you, really, let me just make sure that I did that accurately. So you get your measure move, and that would take you for a new high, for this bull run at least, up to just under 4, so basically 43% of a penny. We'll see what happens, but that is a measure move. If you hold 1.5 cents, then it's likely you see 0.4 of a penny. If you don't hold this level here at 15% of a penny, then it's likely that you see 12% of a penny, and then below that, well, I don't really think you go below that, unless there was a black swan event, or unless Bitcoin lost 59K. But Jasmine, to me, if you hold 1.5, it's likely to go up to just under half a penny, realistically speaking. And you do have a lot of resistance at half a penny as well. So that's what I'm looking at for Jasmine on the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame on the stock RSI does have more downside, so just be cautious. But overall, I like what I'm seeing on Jasmine. To me, AMP looks a little bit better than this. That's why I talked about AMP. But I do like what I'm seeing on Jasmine if you can hold 1.5. If you can't, well, then it's, then maybe it's time to get out of Jasmine for a little bit and then just wait for it to go to 1.2. But that's what I'm seeing on Jasmine, and yeah. So thank you, Fetty. I don't know how you say that, for the roses. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. They do smell so good. Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. No, thank you. So, anyways, that's what I'm looking at on Jasmine. I like to keep it simple. I also like to look at the higher time frames because, frankly, I'm tired of day trading. It hasn't, I made some money here and there with it, but I probably lost more money than I made day trading. So I have made money long-term investing and doing long-term swing trades. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on now. It might not be as exciting, but it doesn't consume my whole day anymore. So that's what I'm looking at on Jasmine, and that's a longer-term swing trade or investment idea. Obviously, if you're investing, you shouldn't care what it does short term. So that's more like the longer term swing trade idea. If you open up a trade here on Jasmine with a stop at 1.15, that would probably, if this does play out and goes up to 3 cents or 0.4 of a penny, that would probably be a 1 to 2 month trade. Just going to be blunt and honest with you about that. And yeah, but if it does go up to that measure move just around 0.4 of a penny, that would be that's about 120% move to the upside roughly. So that's not too bad if you have some money in the game. But I'll leave it at that. Jasmine looks decent to me. Again, the thing I'd be a little bit concerned about, though, and the thing that might push this trade down is the weekly chart has more downside, whereas some altcoins like AMP are getting ready to pump to the upside on the weekly. This still is at 48 on the stock RSI, so just be cautious. It does seem like a high-risk trade set up to me for that reason alone. But that's literally all I would say. But yeah. So anyways, that's kind of what I'm looking at on these altcoins. AMP still looks like the best trade to me. And obviously, if it hit that measure move, let me just see what the you know, right now we're sitting at 8.3, so let me just see this roughly. That would get you about, that's a 200% move up for AMP, and probably if this played out on the daily chart, I mean, or even on the weekly, that's probably a move. The weekly's starting to curve up. That's probably a move that would take, 2 to 4 months probably for AMP. So AMP looks more bullish to me than Jasmine. It looks like the safer trade setup. I might actually get a bag of AMP actually this week, because that does look like it's ready to go up on spot or like an investment bag. It looks pretty good to me. So this would only, AMP would only be my third holding. I'm currently holding Atom. I hold a lot of Atom and I stake it compared to like what I would buy of AMP, and then I would buy AMP, and then the other risky play I took was Orca. Orca was the other one that I really like. So I'm gonna go back to AMP and add this to my watch list, because I think I'm gonna buy some AMP this week. So that's what I'm looking at. Orca's, a high risk one as well. This is again one I add to my investment bag, but overall, if this can hold $2, this is likely to, at least longer term, go up to like $12. So this is a really long-term idea on, but this is a 3-day chart, so $12 is saying it's possible, and you're just at $9 a little bit ago, so $12 is very possible. That's like almost at 5x on Orca, possibly incoming, in the next 2 to 4 months. So those are the trade setups I have for you guys right now. AMP, Orca, I like the most, and then Jasmine looks okay to me. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. And I also gave you my longer-term Bitcoin analysis, which I forgot to go hit the live button on YouTube in time, so I will post my Bitcoin update to YouTube after live stream, so people on YouTube can see that. But yeah. AMP's all-time high is 12 cents, so let's hope we can break that. And then Tommy thinks it will go up to 32 cents. That would be pretty awesome. What would that be from here? 32 cents on AMP. 0.32, and it's right now, what, at 8/10 of a penny? 8.43. Yeah, that's about a 38x on AMP, possibly incoming if your predictions are right. I'm not saying they are right, but, that's a nice return. If you're willing, that's probably like a year, I mean, the halvings has already happened. So if AMP is going to hit the all-time high, that's probably going to happen in less than 18 months. So I don't know if it goes that high, but, that'd be nice if it did. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Just to recap for Bitcoin, if you guys are watching on YouTube, which I don't know if anyone is, but if Bitcoin can hold $59,100, I do see more upside for Bitcoin. The next targets you have to break to the upside to be really bullish is I want to see it break 65,500, because that is weekly support and resistance. And then above that, these red lines at 71.3 is resistance, and then 72.7, and then their all-time high. And then above that, I just see this. I think this is like a 70% chance to happen that we see 87.7 in the next 3 to 6 months. So if that happens, AMP's going to pump, Orca's going to pump, Jasmine is going to pump, the whole market will pump. I see that happening. It's very likely. Especially because it's the halving. I almost think it's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. But unless we get a black swan event, I think these prices are going to happen. At least 87K on Bitcoin, probably $12 at least this bull run on Orca and AMP, at least to 2.6 cents. And the fact that it's already hit 2.4 this bull run, it seems extremely likely we go way, way, way above that. But these are the really conservative targets I'm looking out for the next few months on these assets. Yeah. And AMP is on the Flexa protocol. So, anyways, appreciate the likes. And yeah, if you guys have requests on YouTube about anything, how's it going, Elijah? Thank you for joining in. But yeah, we also have a free Telegram, so feel free to join that. If you also join the Telegram, through the Telegram, you can join the trading group if you guys want to. But yeah. So that's kind of what I've got going on, and I'm kind of excited about where the market is going over the next few months, especially when I'm looking at Bitcoin on like the 3-day time frame. So it seems very likely to me that Bitcoin is going to get a move to the upside unless we lose now again, if we lose $59,100, then I guess the downside targets we should talk about are the next downside targets would be like 57.2. That's a major support as well, and then below that 49.2. I think if we were going to go that low, it would have already happened, but anything is possible. But I still believe we're going to see new all-time highs on Bitcoin this bull run. I think it'd be like it would be the first time in the cycles where we hit the all-time high before the halving, and then after the halving we don't see another all-time high before the bear market. So I just think the chance of that we don't hit another all-time high on Bitcoin is like less than 1%, and that 1% would be like a black swan event. So I think we basically need to see a black swan event and for Bitcoin to like not make another all-time high this bull run. So thank you for the roses. Let's go look at XLM. That was another request that I just got. So I guess we can go look at XLM. XLM was one that I held a lot of in the last or bull market. I made a 5X on that, and then I actually sold that. But I probably put around 1,000 in it last bull run, so not much. Turn that 1,000 to 5,000, 10,000. At one point I think it was 10,000, but it doesn't matter. So looking at the weekly on XLM, I like XLM slightly more than XRP. I think both are kind of boring at this point. I think both are kind of slow movers. But so right now you are sitting at 11 cents on XLM. You have major support at 10.84 and extremely strong support at 9 cents. I don't see you going below 9 cents unless Bitcoin loses 59K. To the upside, our next resistance is 13.6. I don't really have to do much because it's kind of just been range bound for the last year on XLM. Above that, you got 16 cents as resistance. I like the fact that on the weekly, you are making a higher low, and the 3-day chart is trying to curve up, kind of struggling, but you have bullish divergence on the 3-day chart. The price made a lower low, while the RSI ever so slightly made a higher low. So I like what I'm seeing right now. That is bullish divergence on the weekly time frame or on the 3-day time frame for XLM. So that is ever so slightly bullish divergence. But that is bullish divergence. That's a good sign for XLM. The 2-day chart did make a lower high. I don't like what I'm seeing there. Really, if you lose this level here at 10.7, it's likely you come back down to 9 cents, and then below that basically 7 cents. So that's what I'm looking at. I don't like the daily. The smaller time frames tell me that we're going to get a rollover to the downside. Like even the 2-day is struggling. But like if I just zoom out and look at the weekly alone, the weekly looks really bullish to me. So like maybe short term you go back to 9 cents, get a double bottom, and then continue up. But either way, if that even happened, that's okay. The fact that 3-day has bullish divergence tells me it's very likely that that this does get moved to the upside. Maybe short term you go back to 9 cents, but again, if you lose 9 cents, I'd be pretty surprised. I think Bitcoin would have to lose 59K for that to happen. So XLM looks bullish to me, at least on the weekly. But I still like AMP better, and I still like other coins better that I've gone over tonight than this setup. So, that's just kind of where I stand with it. Appreciate the comment, Tommy. You think I'm one of the rare people on here that know what they're talking about? Well, I do watch the markets every day, so I hope I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at on XLM. So I know that this isn't crypto, but Tesla, I did say in my trading group that I thought if Tesla lost $150, we're going back to $100. You did go to 137, but that call as of right now did not play out, so I was wrong about that. But that's like a V-shaped recovery, and usually when you see V-shaped recoveries, that's your low. So it's likely now, if you took a buy on this, that's not a bad idea. I might hesitate a little bit though, because the daily is overbought on Tesla. The 2-day has gas, the 3-day probably has a lot of gas, and the weekly has a lot of gas. But if you just look at the weekly alone on Tesla, the weekly probably says now, if that is your bottom, and that's a V-shaped recovery, which I pretty much see it as a V-shaped recovery with how fast you get the bounce today, that really now at this point, the weekly says the next stop for Tesla is 300 and higher, but let's get them in measured move out of this. So you take it from the last local high, which was 300, and you take it to the last local low, which really on the weekly was all the way down there at 100. So that's going to give you a nice measure move for a higher high up to $380 or so on Tesla. 380 to 416 is resistance, so you could get a move up to 416, 420 on Tesla. So Tesla, looks good to me. It's something to watch. I don't know if I'd take a trade out right now because, like I said, it is overbought on the daily, and this could be another lower high while you are in a downtrend. So I'd be cautious right now, but I would pretty much say if you take out this high from today, that it's likely that is your low. So that's just something to watch in the stock market is Tesla. So If it takes out 200 bucks, it's likely that that's your low down there at 137. Yeah. So that's kind of what I got. With that being said, guys, that's kind of everything I wanted to talk about today. If you guys enjoyed this, appreciate it. If you hit the like, subscribe, it does help support the channel. And I'll be back live. Today's Monday. I'll be back live Saturday at 11 p.m. Central Time. I'll be posting videos throughout the week as well on altcoins. I'll also be posting the Bitcoin update and the AMP video to YouTube after this live stream. So if you guys missed that Bitcoin update at the beginning, yeah, I'll post that for y'all. So, thank you, Fetty, again, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, trade safe. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys on Saturday, this weekend, for our next live stream.